Married in 2000, had the perfect marriage, bought a new house, each had nice cars, had good jobs, paid good. We were on our first, working on our second child, going through what we thought were good times. After 5 or 6 years, it kind of started looking at things like, man, you kind of settled into that plateau, and I started feeling like maybe there was more into the relationship, and then started dissecting parts and pieces of what I conceived to be her just neglecting me in the relationship.
We had got to a period where we just weren't nice to each other. Things were starting to fall apart. We were not in church. We were just living the selfish life.
Things started to really fall pretty hard right around Katrina. We ended up selling our house. We kind of split ways there for several months.
Doing a lot of soul searching, trying to figure out, how to fix ourselves and how to fix each other, how to come together, and it was a struggle.
Tried unsuccessful a few times to try, to mend things up, get back together. At the same time, I was definitely not living a Christian life. I hadn't been to church. I'd never really gone to church.
We both went through bouts of trying to prove to each other, we can do this, we can make it work, doubting each other, no, can't do that, never happened, ready to file papers, it's over, it's done.
Somewhere in my drive one day that I was looking back over things that I had done that got me to the downness of my life and my job and in my family and in my career, everything that it was about me, I just felt like the bottom just fell out of it. I was driving in the truck and I just knew there was a different way and a different feeling that I needed to be in, and a different part of my life needed to be changed. But I just had a cold feeling that God wasn't going to forgive me for what I did. In my mind, what I had done was so severe personally that I was just going to be like this forever. I'm bound to be this way anyway, because God will never forgive me. He'll never give me the kind of love and compassion that I feel like I want because of what I've done to Him. And not even going to church, I just knew that was the only thing that was going to save me. That was the only thing. That was my only escape, was to figure out a way to make right with God, not with Angie and not with my family, but I knew I had to fix Chad first before anything came together. And it wasn't that anybody was preaching it to me, but God was just talking to me, and He was just telling me that.
He's going to church, making a total 180 from where he was, and watching that change in him, and learning that the man that I was with for those first few years, that's not the man he was anymore. It took a while to really see, no, God's got him now.
It was a very hard struggle through my life trying to figure out what God was wanting me to do, but the ultimate goal, I guess, was me just asking for His forgiveness.
Learning to just let go of all those fears and pains, and just totally just forgiving Him for all of that.
At that point in my life, God told me to get on my knees in front of her and hold her hands and look at her in her face and ask for her forgiveness.
And forgiving myself for letting it get there.
No matter how hard I tried, no matter how many sweet nothings I whispered to her, or how many gifts I bought her, or just how much love I acted on, it still wasn't fixing who Chad was inside. I had to come to grips with the terms that, me being right with God was the only way to start my process of making anything else in my life right. People that knew me and knew what I was doing and knew how my life was were looking at me like, this, you just went to church and you've got fixed. And I was like, no, man, I went to church and asked God for forgiveness.